Hi everyone, Sarah here. We're going to get into the topic of notifications today and how triggering notifications can be and what that means when you're triggered by a notification. Does it mean there's something wrong with you? Does it mean that you're broken? Does it mean that you haven't healed enough? Does it mean? We always want to know, what does it mean? Because we're meaning making machines. We are literally unconsciously and often consciously, always both simultaneously, looking for ways to experience connection. So all of us have these devices at our hand, and all of us have a million notifications turned on, and that can be triggering. It can be, what does that mean? And we like all the good things. We want all the good things. We want all the hearts. We want all the likes. It's so funny. I mean, especially in today's world, we live in the state of constant bombardment, and that can be very, very triggering for a nervous system. It can put a nervous system in overdrive. So one of the most simple ways to calm your inner state and your nervous system is simply to turn off your notifications. But then it's almost like, am I turning off connection to the external world? Am I turning off that hit of dopamine I get every time I receive a validation through a notification? Because notifications are gateways and portals, energy centers to validation. And so many of us are on this journey to try and discover where we fit in, who we are, where we belong, what our purpose is, what our reason for going through all the things we've been through in the past is, and how do we put this all together and wrap it up with a big, pretty bow. And we feel like, not there yet, not there yet, not there yet. Wondering, am I ever going to be there? How will I know when I'm actually there? What is the arrival state? And in that, there's truth. That it's a continual process, a journey, an evolution of arriving and arriving and arriving and arriving. And in that, we can experience trigger and trigger and trigger and trigger. And then we can have this internal dialogue and this inner story that says, you haven't arrived yet. You haven't done enough work yet. See, you're still broken, when something like a notification triggered you. Well, what can that mean? Let's dive into it. So I'm making this video because of a recent experience with the notification. So, you know the phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So far from the truth. Words have energy. Words are emotion. Words are power. Words have meaning, and words create the meaning that our unconscious and internal beliefs have and hold on to. And that shapes our identity, and it shapes our capacity to believe in, I can do this, I can't do that. Who do I think I am to want to do that, or try and do that, or to break out of that old paradigm, that old programming, that old story, and pull us back into a state of limitation and lack. And notifications can be very triggering for that. But I love the celebration that can be had every time you receive a trigger and a notification. You can receive a celebration of, oh my gosh, I got a notification. What is this? What's available to me? Almost like a gift that you're opening, or an envelope, or a letter, receiving something. But it can be really triggering too when you feel like what you've opened and what you've received is not in the same energy of the intention in which you gave it. So there's constantly a giving and receiving of energy, of attention, and notifications are that you've received something. You've received a notification because you put something else out there, whether you subscribed to something, or whether you shared something, whether you sent a text message, you receive a notification that you've received a response. It's like, ooh, validation. I feel good. I got a response. What do they have to say? Ooh, what's here for me? Let's open it. Let's take a look. Let's receive it. And this happens all the time. It happens constantly, especially in today's world of technology and this energetic leash that we are always connected to, right? Our social media, our phones. So in that, there's the context of understanding you're always energetically connected to so many things. There are things that you put out there, who knows when, and you may receive something back, and it may be in a different intention or energy than that which you put it out there. And I inherently believe that people are good, that we're hardwired to receive connection, to move towards things that allow us to experience pleasure. And in that, when we experience pain instead of pleasure, it's, ooh, it doesn't feel good. And we can experience that through a simple notification because we're receiving validation, but it may not be the validation that we like. It may be validation that you're not good enough, that you do not deserve what you desire. And it may feel like validation in the negative. So whether it's positive validation or a validation that makes you feel ugh or validation that makes you feel, oh, ooh, this feels good. And so we label it. There's a feeling good and there's a feeling bad. So obviously, you guys are here on my channel, you know that I share a lot, especially in the energy and the context of this and moving through emotions from having your experience, your emotions and your energies entangled, wrapped up and tied up in emotionally traumatic and abusive past, specifically in the form of relationships, context of relationships with emotional manipulators and abusers. So in that, I received a notification that was on another story or short that I had, and it was, ooh, toxic positivity, it'll solve all your problems. It won't. It will not. You can't just be positive through things. There's a very, very big disservice that you're doing to yourself and others if you're pretending. And there's a lot of pretending in just being positive. And there's a big difference in being positive and understanding that you are not your thoughts. So you can have positive thoughts, but you can also have the belief that you're not your thoughts. And I talk about this a lot. That is why mantras, affirmations, and meditations can often feel more constricting and there's a energy of difficulty behind them. There's an energy of disbelief. Well, I say this, but I don't believe that. But what I'm saying is positive, positive, positive. Everything is happy, sunshine, and rainbows. And in that, there's a disconnection to what you're going through, to the energy of the emotion that you're going through. And in that, the energy stays stagnant, it stays stuck, it stays trapped. And that's what trauma is, it's trapped information. So there's information there that needs to be unleashed and untrapped, that needs to be processed. So if trauma is trapped information, it's unprocessed, and just trying to positive your way through that, you're not allowing yourself the full embodied experience of processing it. It's like it's semi-processed. It's like it's still there and you're just trying to pretend that it's not and just be positive and it's okay. I'm just going to positive my way through this. So there was a notification that said, woo, toxic positivity, it'll solve all your problems. And then I saw the words dysfunctional dynamic and I went, oh my God. And we live in a state of personalization. It's a continual process of not taking things personally, of realizing we're all having this human experience that we're sharing. We're sharing it through our energy, we're sharing it through our words, we're sharing it through our process of digestion of the things that we have processed and the things that still remain that are yet to be processed or in the process of processing. So when you are on this journey of unleashing and untrapping past trauma, emotions, and energies around that, you come from a different place. And this understanding and awareness and realization that everyone is coming from a different place. It is literally impossible for all of us to come from the same place, because there's not a single person on this planet that is identical to another, even with identical twins. Their emotions, their energies, their understanding, their interpretation of experiences of events is very different. It's very unique to them. And we all have a unique and genuine blueprint. And because of all of the things that we've all experienced, and because of the beliefs that we've developed about ourselves from those experiences, we're going to have our own interpretations of things. Therefore, we're going to have our own projection, our own lens in which we're all living through. Some of us can come together collectively and have them be similar in function, but they're never going to be identical. So they can be similar, but not identical. And in this, there can be triggers, but triggers are this beautiful energetic portal and gateway and opening to awareness, to looking within, to seeing what is there. What was that feeling that I got when I received a notification? A notification is like a letter, an opening, a gift, a present. Hey, you've got something, something has arrived. So a notification can be the arrival of a trigger. But it doesn't necessarily have to be something that we label bad or that we put in a corner, that we put in a box and we just close it up and we go, I can't deal with that right now. But so many of us feel that we don't have a choice, that we can't deal with it, that it's too big, and we're scared about what it will reveal when we open the gift, when we receive the notification and we're like, okay, there's validation, it makes me feel good, or oh no, this is saying something about me that I don't like, therefore I'm not going to sit with it, I'm not going to deal with it, I'm not going to look at it through the lens of how can this expand me, how can this grow me, how can I allow this to take me deeper into my experience of this human existence? Am I going to allow myself the experience of sitting with this and seeing certain trigger words are revealing? Triggers are revealing. They're very, okay, what is this? Am I making this mean something about me? And am I how am I being through the lens of what I'm making this mean about me? Am I going to be someone who fires off a response? Am I going to be someone who loses it and can't handle it and then will just turn to something outside of me to numb the things I feel inside of me? How am I being with this, with these words, and where am I feeling those words in my body? I know that's a wild concept for some, but we feel words in our body because words have power, they have energy behind them, they have movement behind them, and generally that lands in a particular part of us, and that part of us is generally the center in which we know that this means that. And so many people ask, well, how can I know? Why? What does that mean? Paying attention and really being fully committed to doing this inner work doesn't mean you have to make it a full-time job, but is a process of really understanding yourself, growing, expanding, evolving your experience of being a human, taking a look at the programming that's been instilled and installed, who it came from, where it came from, how long it's been there. And that can happen with notifications. That can happen with this, here you go, take a look at this. What does this mean? What do you believe that this means about you? Where do you feel this within you? And we are in a world where we constantly get experiences of that. And when you still have wounds that need your attention, that need your addressing, and you're dismissing them, you're living in a very heightened, overstimulated nervous system state of no, 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 no. And in that, we will rapid fire off things that's like we're playing hot potato with our pain. Like, oh, I don't like that. Here you go. Instead of sitting with it and going, oh, breathing with it, feeling it, allowing it to reveal within you what you're ready to see. And so many of us believe that we can't handle what we're going to see, or we believe that we're not capable, we're not worthy, we're not deserving. But that is the universe saying, here you go, here you go, here you go. And many of us turn off our notifications to life. So we turn off our notification to triggers because we believe that we don't have the capacity or ability to handle them, to sit with them, to allow them to process, or we believe it will take too much time, or that it will send us into a spiral and down into a hole that we don't want to go. And we're going down that hole anyway. So that's an indication that you do have what it takes, but how long are you willing to sit with that? How long are you willing to hold it so that you can learn more about you, so that you can grow, so that you can heal, so that you can expand, so you can deepen the roots of your truth. The truth is that you are enough. The truth is that you do matter. The truth is that you do belong. The truth is there's nothing you need to change about you. Absolutely nothing. You were born worthy, you were born deserving, and nothing has changed. But when you receive the notifications and you receive the validation that there's something here for you, when you open it, your fear comes in and says, well, what if it tells me I'm not worthy? It can tell you whatever it wants to tell you. Are you going to hold on to that belief? Are you going to keep it as yours? Or are you going to open it, see it, allow it to be revealed for what it is, and let it be what it is? Not make it mean anything different about you. So there are universal truths, and one of them is that you were born worthy. Nothing has changed. You always have been. You always will be, and that is what remains. But it remains, but it gets piled on top of because of these notifications, because of these experiences of, okay, this word is going to trigger you because it might alter or change the very core truths that you have about you. And if they're ones that feel like you're consistently, I can't handle this, that's a very good thing. Then that means that the truths about you are ready to change, because you're believing the truths about you are that you're not worthy, that you're undeserving, that you're not good enough. Those are ones that when you feel, for me, does it feel bad? If it feels bad, it's not for me. But there's not a moment of there has to be a moment of not just discrediting it. There has to be a moment. It's almost like you've got a junk drawer, right? And it's like all the things that you don't want to open, you don't want to reveal, you know what they are. You have a feeling that there's something in there that you don't want to see. And therefore you're avoiding it and you're rejecting it, but that doesn't make it go away. Just because you reject it, just because you avoid opening it, doesn't mean that it's not in there. And so it's almost like you've got this energetic and emotional junk drawer where you just, oh, that, no, I'm going to put that in there. I don't want to open it. I don't want to read it. I'm afraid of what it says. It's from a fear-based place. And a lot of notifications can come from a fear-based place because it's someone's going to say something, someone's going to tell me something, I'm going to read something, something will be revealed. And if there's a connection to what I already believe about myself, there's a validation that it means that I am that. If there's a connection to the validation that I am not good enough, that I am unworthy, that I am undeserving, that I don't have what it takes, it deepens the root and it validates that. And we fear that, we don't want that. So oftentimes we'll avoid it and we'll put it in the energetic and emotional junk drawer. And it's almost like we can feel that it's there, but there's so much more power in taking that envelope and ripping it open and seeing what it is. And if you are someone who receives mail, the vast majority of the mail that you receive can go right in the trash. It's junk. I laugh every time I go to the mailbox with my daughter. I'm like, okay, well, how much junk are we going to get today? And she's like, Mommy, is it all junk? And she likes to look through it because it's printed, it's colorful, there's pictures of food on it. And she's like, this looks yummy. Can we go get pizza? But the vast majority of it is junk. But what would happen over time is if I stopped checking the mail, it would pile up. And I can tell myself, I know there's nothing worthy in there, but what happens if I receive a refund check or a letter or something from someone that I love and they sent me something and I neglected to check it? I would neglect to receive the good things. I would neglect to receive gifts. I would neglect to receive things that made me feel really good about myself, that had me go, ah. And if I'm truthful and honest and I don't avoid it and I actually go, I check it, I open it, I receive it, I see that the vast majority of it is junk and can be thrown in the garbage and just thrown away. And then there's a process of clearing out, of opening, seeing, revealing, clearing out, and seeing that most of it is junk, that I don't need to hold on to it. I can let it go. I can let it go. I can let it go just as easily as I received it. So there's a process of it coming in and also coming out. But so many of us are so afraid that it's going to reveal what we already feel, and therefore we avoid it. So in this, I know we've gone a lot of different directions here, but there's beauty in this. When you receive a notification, what's the indication? What are you receiving? Is this something that you're afraid of and you're just going to leave it there and you're not going to open it because you're afraid that it's going to reveal something bad about you, something that you already feel within you? Or are you going to say, okay, what's here? Let's take a look. Open it. Is it for me? Yay! A beautiful card for my birthday, a beautiful card for this, a beautiful letter from whoever, an indication of something good that I can use, that I feel good about. Or are you looking and seeing the truth that the vast majority of it's junk that you can trash, that you can disregard, that you can let go of, that isn't serving you, and put it where it belongs, right? So in that, understand that this is a continual process, the evolution, the growth and journey, and don't let your emotional and energetic junk drawer and mailbox pile up. That doesn't serve everyone. If that's what you do, you may not experience this because you don't have an energetic or emotional mailman. Well, actually we do. Those are, but those are the things that we continue to avoid and disregard. But I can just imagine that if a year went by and I did not check my mailbox, that mailman would get so frustrated and so irritated. He would come to the house and he would leave a letter on the door. You need to check your mail. I have a job to do and I have things to bring you and things to deliver you, but there's no more space. So you, my friend, You need to open it. You need to clean it out. You need to clear it out. You need to create some space for me because I have some things for you. And it's the same thing. That's that intuition. That's that sixth sense. It's like the energetic mailman saying, hello, hello, I have some things for you, but I can't do my job if you're not doing your job. This is a co-creation. This is a collaboration. We need to work on this together. I do my part, you do your part. I do my part, you do your part. And there's beautiful ebb and flow of things that need to be done to make things work the most smooth way possible. So notifications are indications of that. You've got mail. You've got mail. So if you follow my drift and you're ready for that and you're ready to clean out your energetic and emotional mailbox because you're tired of pretending that you're not receiving things and telling yourself the story, well, most of it's junk, you're probably right. Most of it is junk. Most of those limiting and negative beliefs that you have that you're holding on to, that you've shoved and stuffed in that drawer, it's junk. And it's time to clear out the junk drawer. So this is your notification that you have received. It's time. It's time to co-create. It's time to collaborate. It's time to do my job so you can do your job. And that is what your intuition, that's what your heart, that's what your soul have been telling you and are wanting you to receive the memo. Okay. So if you know you've been avoiding it, putting it off, and keeping yourself from receiving the memo because you're afraid of what's going to be opened, know that most of it is junk, and know that you feel incredible. You feel a massive shift, an inner transformation, a powerful inner clearing when you have removed and created that space internally within you to allow yourself to receive the good things, knowing you can throw away the things that aren't for you anytime at all. And you can do it a lot more easily when there's actually space for it to go and a place for it to go. That is my rant. That is my tangent for today. I love you. I love you. I love you. I see you. I honor you. You are good enough. We just need to get you in alignment with the belief that you are. And that takes receiving the notification, opening it. All right. Instead of pretending it's not there. So even that feeling, that oof feeling, is a revealing that it's time. So when you're ready to do the work, let's connect. Until then, I'll see you next time.